Adam, what more can you tell us about AB coming back to Tampa?
Well, Ryan, as much of a great player as Antonio Brown is, and as much as Tampa Bay wanted him back, there wasn't a market for him. There were not teams out there bidding for his services, and so there was a limited market. Tampa, the team itself, still has not heard that Antonio Brown is taking the deal, but the agent says the deal is done, so the agent says the deal is done. And so Antonio Brown goes back to Tampa, which really was only his only viable landing spot all along. It wasn't like he had another suitor coming after him. He's a tremendous player. He fits in well with there. Tom Brady wanted him back. He wanted to be with Tom Brady. He never was going anywhere else. He was always going to be in Tampa, and now officially the agent says that he will be staying in Tampa.
Okay, so the deal around $6.5 million in salary, $2 million in signing bonus. But I think it's so interesting, Adam, that you mentioned that there wasn't a real market for him. So, Swagoo, got to bring you in on this one. What does that say about Antonio Brown and what Tampa believes in him if there's not a market, but they still gave him a pretty reasonable deal?
It tells me Tampa understands who their quarterback is and how he can get everyone involved in the offense and also keep everyone happy, even if their numbers aren't where those guys think they should be. I think the important thing to remember here, too, with Antonio Brown is the fact that how he came on as this season continued to go along. And you see the Tom Brady influence all over Tampa. Yes, Jason Light deserves a lot of credit. They deserve a lot of credit for being able to get all of these guys signed. But Tom Brady has a specific idea of how he wants to operate from an offensive standpoint, and that involves Antonio Brown. So that's what they got done. And as much as Tampa is going to try to say, look, we are running this thing and we doing what we're doing, Tom Brady's imprint and influence has been all over this offseason. And kudos to Tampa and their upper management for understanding that this window is short, but it's something that they can maximize and take advantage of. And AB is happy as anyone because he's with Tom and along with all of those other players.
Go ahead, RC.
We are missing the point. Antonio Brown's market is not small because he can't play. That's not it.
Exactly.
Antonio Brown's market is not little, and people aren't crashing his door because he's a bad football player. He's had some other things happen, and so Antonio Brown can still go. And you heard Marcus speak about the way that he came along as the season went on. He didn't get to play 2 years ago, and now he comes in mid-year. By the time the playoffs hit, Antonio Brown was rolling. Antonio Brown was a true piece of this offense, and I think that only elevates in year 2. This was an important signing, and they do have all 22 players back. But when you watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Marcus mentioned what Tom Brady likes to do, Tom Brady likes the best matchup. So when Tom Brady has an opportunity to have a mismatch or to have a number 1 caliber player on a number 2 or a number 3 corner or a safety, that's the matchup he is going to take. And Antonio Brown is going to benefit from that. He spoke about his admiration for who Tom Brady has been in his life as a mentor and as a quarterback. And I think this is a perfect signing for both Antonio Brown and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So, Schefter, both RC and Swagoo are talking about Tom Brady and his influence on all this. What does this say? What does this signing say about Tom Brady and his influence and his power in Tampa Bay?
Listening to what Tom Brady wants. Tom Brady wanted Antonio Brown. Were it not for Tom Brady, Antonio Brown would not be there. But Tom Brady wanted a number of these players. Look, Tom Brady has created envy around the league. I think Russell Wilson would love in Seattle to have the voice that Tom Brady does. Aaron Rodgers would love in Green Bay to have the voice that Tom Brady does. Tom Brady's created Tom envy across the league amongst the top quarterbacks. That's what's gone on here this offseason. Antonio Brown.
Schefter.
Well, that's what's gone on here. And essentially, Antonio Brown was somebody that Tom Brady wanted. Everybody's got Tom envy. Everybody's got Tom envy. Hey, I want to be as handsome and as rich as Tom Brady.
But to that point, fellas, to that point, you gotta be made the right way to be able to manage this. How many times, like, think about when the Brooklyn Nets signed everybody, and the whole conversation was, how in the hell these guys gonna play together? Tom Brady figures out how to get everybody involved without these guys' egos infiltrating into the locker room. He's been doing it for years. Tampa is the next stop on his tour destination. And for that, they're going to be as good as they were last year, even better, I believe.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.